we're joined by senior Darren Goodson and junior KK Simmons. We'll open up for questions now. Sophomore KK Simmons.
I feel getting up over 100 tonight.
Oh, yeah.
How'd it feel?
That felt real good. Everybody on our team can score and do different things. That's what makes us so dangerous. And as far as just the offense will take care of itself, all we got to do is work on the defensive end. And like I said, we're a real dangerous team. So.
I think the fans should have got hot dogs. No, like KK said, like the scoring gonna come, and we knew the way they play defense, and they really not trying to foul because they're not very deep. We knew we can get what we wanted on the offensive end, but we didn't play the defense we were supposed to play, but we played enough to win the game. So,
Just a strange game.
man, it was crazy. Yeah.
Third game and third night, kind of playing into that. You think?
You could say that, but that's how the MAC tournament is. If you got to play on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So I think that's why Coach put that together like that, and you got to be able to play to your full potential every night. And hey, we got 3 wins.
Right.
So
Every win is not going to be pretty.
Mm-hmm.
It's in basketball itself. It's a game where ugly wins count also. You know what I'm saying? Just getting the win is really all that matters, regardless of how you do it. So.
KK, you had a huge stretch there after they actually come back, take the lead to start the second half.
Right.
Had about 3 or 4 huge plays there. Can you just talk about that flurry?
Yeah, I just basically kind of got in the zone. I seen that our team kind of was in a hole for a second, and I just felt like that was my time to try to step up and be more aggressive. Sitting out last year, it kind of takes a lot of time, getting back into it, and I'm just enjoying, I'm just having fun playing basketball. I know my role on this team, and like I said, I just went in there and just was aggressive, and it worked in my favor. I know what I can do. I've been doing this for a long time, so I was kind of happy, to finally kind of get out there and really show what I can do. So.
Then you've had some stretches already.
Right.
That was just kind of put all
Yeah.
You guys talk a little bit about holding Mason pretty well in the first half, and then he kind of starts to do what he can do for them to take over. But I thought you said it best, KK, when you said you guys got a bunch of you. There was one of him.
Yeah.
There was a bunch of you guys, and at different times and stretches, you stood up. Dev did early with the 3 quarters. I mean, everybody kind of did their own thing, and isn't that always going to be the team with one guy?
Right.
Yeah, like we watched film. We seen that he's the leading scorer in NCAA right now, and like on the film, it just shows he takes a lot of shots. He tries to do what he can do, and that was the goal, to try to let him beat us. And we know not one person's going to beat us, so we just tried to stay in front of him as much as we could. He made good plays in the second half, but Coach told us, what was we going to do if he start getting it going, and we still won the game, so that's all that mattered.
Second half, Henny ends up with 20, 6 of 6, and Khalek's 3 of 3. I mean, a lot of those are set up by you passes. I mean, just talk about them. That's obviously your.
Like I said last year, I couldn't find it, and Coach told me to become more of a passer. Get other people involved, and then maybe my game will get going. And I'm trying to carry that on to this year. Like KK said, a lot of people on our team can score, I think, and either night somebody can have 20, someone can have 16, and that's all I want. I just want success. It's my last year. I just want success. I'm not worried about myself. I'm worried about Kent State.
Has it gotten to the point where you make that pass and that directly to a dunk feels just as good as anything else?
It feels good. It feels better than scoring to myself.
I'll give an opening statement and then we'll open questions.
Yeah, real quick, I'm going to go on a little tangent before I talk about the game. This obviously was the Coaches vs. Cancer Classic that we're doing. My best friend growing up, his father passed away from cancer on Thursday. He watches all these press conferences. I wasn't able to go to the funeral. And I just, for him, when he hears, his name's Seth, I just want him to know I'm thinking about him and was thinking about him and his family this whole time. Now, I know that's nothing about the game, but if it wasn't the Coaches vs. Cancer Classic, I probably wouldn't talk about it right now. But it's just a thought on my mind as we're going through this. So about the game, I don't think we played great. But at the same time, I think Niagara was really hungry. That's a team that won a conference championship last year. They didn't play real well the first 2 games, and they were a little bit hungrier than us, especially in the first half. It seemed like they beat us to every loose ball. They have a great player, obviously, in Antoine Mason, and I thought they really competed at a high level. I thought in the second half we did a much better job in stretches, which gave us the lead, of really competing the way we need to and defending the way we need to. And then towards the end, we made a couple bonehead mistakes that allowed them to have an opportunity to get back in the game. But then Kellen, he made 6 for 6 free throws. He's got some, he's cold-blooded. And, we had some good performances. Obviously, KK was great. Mark was great on the offensive end. I thought Kalik played well against some of the fouls and stuff he's just got to get better at. There was a rebound off a missed free throw that we need him to get. But, he's a sophomore who barely played last year. So he'll get better. And I thought he played really well. And I thought Darren, who I give grief to every day, every moment of every day, I'm on him. And I thought he really was selfless tonight and really didn't care one bit about his scoring. He just cared about making sure we won. So we wanted to go 3-0 in this tournament. We did. And we're now 6-1. And I'd challenge anybody who would have thought we'd be 6-1 right now. So I'm happy with where we're at.
Talk a little bit about KK and what you saw tonight that maybe you hadn't seen before. I'm sure in practice you've seen it. He talked about how he knows that's how he plays. But after sitting out a year,
Yeah.
sometimes it just takes a while.
And he was aggressive, but under control. I think sometimes, sometimes he tries to force things a little bit too much, or is looking just, I don't know. Sometimes he forces stuff, and sometimes he doesn't get a ton of an opportunity because I do sub these guys a lot. And tonight he had an opportunity, and again, he had 18 points in 15 minutes. It's not like he played 26 minutes. I mean, he still didn't play a ton of minutes, but he was really ultra productive. He's a good three-point shooter. I think once he saw his first shot go in, he started feeling it a little bit. Then he hit his little step-back three, and he makes those. I just hate when he shoots them as his first shot, and there have been a couple games that's his first shot, and then I pull him, and obviously I got to do a better job getting him some more minutes. So he was great tonight. As were a lot of guys on the offensive end. I mean, how can you complain? We shot 60%. We were great offensively. We got to guard and rebound a little bit better. I mean, that's the bottom line. We got to guard and rebound a little better.
There's points too. I mean, sometimes in these types of games you get points here or there. His points came when they.
Oh, we needed them. Yeah, we needed them. Mm-hmm. And they were at times where other guys were struggling and we were struggling a little bit. And he stepped up huge for us. It was, he stepped up huge. And again, I say this, and I mean it when I say it. We have a lot of guys that have the ability to help us in different ways. And I think that's one of the beauties of the team is that, there's a number of different guys who can play well if they get an opportunity. And, you got to go out there and perform. So, I'm happy. We needed everyone.
How much is just the 102.97? I can't remember the last time I seen you guys play games like
Yeah.
that. How much of that is just the third? I mean, you played 3 nights. It's something that's so.
Well, some of that's Niagara. They really push the ball. I mean, they've had high-scoring games the entire year, and they have, the leading scorer in the nation. So, I mean, that's part of it. Some of it, I think, is the new rules to some degree. I mean, if you look across college basketball, there's more scoring now than there was last year. I just think it's harder to defend over a 40-minute game than it was last year. It just is. So I don't know that we'll score 100 again, but I think our points per game are up from last year, and as it is across the country. So you've got to find different ways to slow teams down, and that's something that we're going to try to continue to work at because we've got to defend better and rebound better. And we've been a good rebounding team, but tonight they had 18 offensive rebounds, and that's way too many. It's just way too many.
Did the 3 games and 3 nights playing?
I'm sure it did. Listen, but they played 3 games and 3 nights too. So, I'm sure it did. And I do think being home actually isn't as easy either, because it's great for the games, but like Niagara team's in a hotel at night, and they're getting the same amount of sleep, and they're not doing anything. My kids had class on Friday, they had class on Thursday. Kent is a college town. They were supposed to be in at midnight last night, and I'm assuming they were, and I think they were. But even so, it's not like I didn't do a check. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a little different than when you're someplace else. But I do think being at home helped us win the games for sure.
Talk a little bit more about Mason and defending him and how, early on, he didn't get a whole lot off, and then he kind of started to get up towards the second half. Still only had 7 points in the first half, and then kind of took off.
Yeah,
He's one of those guys that that's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, you just hope he's shooting a lot of jumpers, and tonight he was really aggressive, and he got to the rim. He's a good player, and again, some of that is he also has that freedom within how they play, that when he gets it, he can go. And I think Derek's a great defender. I actually thought Derek did a pretty decent job on him, but there's only so much you can do sometimes. I mean, it's hard. He's strong as an ox, and when he drives, it's hard to not foul him. Okay, it's hard to not foul him, and he was able to get to the rim and do some good things. He's a good player. He's a good player.
Was Jackson, I know Jackson guarded him obviously for most of the first half, and then it seemed like in the second half,
Yeah.
not as much shot.
Yeah, I mean, he was supposed to guard him the whole game. Kellen, when Derek comes out, I look at Kellen as being our toughest defender outside of Derek. So when he comes out, I put Kellen on him. But I do think there was a couple times in the second half early where they got mismatched. And because the ball is pushed up so quickly, sometimes it's hard to get matched with who you want to get matched with. So sometimes he wasn't on him. And, yeah.
Early in the second half, they came out with that full court press that really seemed to get you guys a little razzled, so to say. How did you go about getting out of that?
I thought that was in the first half. The first half, we went up 11, and then they pressed, and we turned it over twice. In the second half, we only had 3 turnovers in the second half. I thought we did a good job taking care of the ball in the second half. But in the first half, we had gotten a pretty big lead, and KK was a little sloppy with the ball, and a couple of our guys were. But that's how they play. 11 turnovers, if you can have 11 turnovers against them, you're going to have a good chance to win, because they need to create turnovers. We've been great at not turning the ball over. And I thought, tonight we did a pretty good job. In the second half, we did a good job. We had 8 in the first half, which was way too many. So in the second half, we only had 3. And if you can do that, then you're going to have a chance to win.